Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today, I'm so excited to show you how to make the trendy applique side bow design using the Cricut machine and heat transfer vinyl. I've seen these popping up all over. I'm not sure who the original creator was. Otherwise, I would love to tag them. It looks like it may have started with embroidery. I've noticed so many Cricut users giving it their spin. I got totally inspired and decided to make one for myself and of course make a tutorial. I thought it would be fun to make it Valentine's theme, and that's why I have the little heart in there. I'm using a size small youth sweatshirt that I found at Hobby Lobby. I also grabbed red and pink HTV. I just searched my own craft room to see which ones I had. So I'm using Caesar Easyweed Echo Stretch and Caesar Easyweed Rose. Both are Caesar brand, which is one of my favorites. If you have HTV that's good for stretch, then I would recommend that, but any should work. I'm in Cricut Design Space and I'm going to find my bow image first. I'm actually going to grab one from Cricut Design Space. I'm going to type in heart bow. I'm trying to find something that will work for Valentine's Day. I think I'm going to grab this one. I decided I'm going to do this one. It just doesn't seem like this would have as much space, so I think this one will be better. I'm also going to upload an SVG to put on the front of the heart. I found this off of Creative Fabrica. I'll link it down in the description box if you want to get the same SVG. Now I'm just going to change all the colors around. I'm using just a red and pink. I'll click on this one first and hit ungroup. I like all of this. I just want to switch the black to match the red heart. Since I ungrouped it, each letter is separate. I need to highlight over all of these. When you look in the layers panel, you can see that they're all selected. Then I am going to switch it to red. We have two reds in here. I need to make sure they're all the same red. Let me click on this and I am going to ungroup it. I'm going to click on the red and switch it to this one. If I go to my color sync, I can see that it's all the same red. I just want it all on the same vinyl sheet. I do need to switch this pink to match the heart one. Okay, that looks so cute. I might move this. Okay, perfect. I want this to be a solid bow and then I'll layer this on top. I do need to do some attaching over here. The heartbreaker is attached. It honestly wastes some space and I don't have a ton of vinyl, so I want to save as much as possible. What I'm going to do is ungroup this. So you can see they're all different layers now. I'm going to highlight over this top section, then I'll come down and hit attach. The rest of the pink letters, I am going to do this over in my layers panel. It's a little easier. I'll just hit shift on my keyboard and select all the letter pieces. Once again, I'll hit attach. I like to check it sometimes. That looks good. I'll just hit undo. Now I just need to do the last one. With script fonts, you can see these cut lines in here. Sometimes when I attach it, it's fine, but other times it actually makes cuts in there. So with script font, I usually like to unite it together. And you can see those lines disappear. Okay, I have all the colors the way I want it. I have everything attached as well. The last thing I need to do is size it. This is going on a small youth shirt for my daughter. I'm going to make it 7.5 inches for the width. For my bow, I'm actually going to go off of the height. I measured my sweatshirt to see about how tall I wanted it, and 6 inches was good. And it looks like it's already at 6 inches. I do need to duplicate this. I need to highlight over both. You can see they're both selected in the layers panel. Then I'll hit Command D to duplicate it. Now I can click Make. I'm going to select on a mat since I'm not using Smart Vinyl. It looks like I didn't have heart attached. I'll hit cancel and do that real quick. I thought it was attached, but it's just grouped together. All I need to do is have this selected, then I'll select attach. Now I should be ready. For my cut setting, I'm going to select Everyday Iron On. As you can see, it will automatically mirror my design for me. I placed the HTV shiny side down on the mat. It was just a little bit too long, and sometimes it picks up off the mat while the Cricut's cutting, so I just trimmed that off. I also like to use the brayer tool just to press it into the mat so it doesn't shift around while the Cricut's cutting. I load it into the machine and the Cricut will cut out the design. Once it's done, I remove it from the mat, then I load my pink HTV and I follow the exact same process. Has anyone made any Valentine's Day projects with their Cricut machine yet this year? My daughter wants to make some Valentines for her classroom at school. We just have to come up with an idea of what to make. I always like to trim off some of the excess just to save on some of the vinyl. Then I go in and weed out my HTV. I love Caesar because it just weeds so easily. When that's done, I cut around each of the vinyl pieces. You can use whatever heat press you want for this project. I'm using the Cricut Easy Press 2 and I set it to 315 for 30 seconds. You'll want to make sure to use an easy press mat or towel. Here I just laid my sweatshirt on it and I'm laying it out as flat as possible. Next, I'm going to press my Easy Press on top of both sides, the left and the right. What this will do is preheat the sweatshirt, but it will also provide a crease down the sides so I know exactly where to center my vinyl. I'm going to pick one side to start with. I just lift the sweatshirt up and lay it down on the mat. I also adjust the sleeves to make sure they're out of the way. Next, I make sure the top and the bottom of the sweatshirt is as flat as possible. This honestly was so tricky to get it flat. It would make it easier if you had a sweatshirt that was bigger and you can put it in between the heat plate or put a mat inside. But since I'm using a youth sweatshirt, I just didn't have a small enough mat to do that. Once I had it as smooth as I possibly could, it for sure was not perfect, I grabbed my vinyl and I folded it in half, not on the sticky side, to find the center. I just pressed at the top, you can't see it there. I lined that up with the crease on the sweatshirt. I want the bottom of the bow to be as close to the bottom of the sweatshirt. I had it up just a little bit. It doesn't really matter, it doesn't have to be right on the edge. As you can see, I'm trying to flatten the sweatshirt out as much as possible. It just makes the vinyl lay and adhere so much easier if it's flat on the sweatshirt. Then I add a Teflon sheet on top, then add my Easy Press on top of that. Since I'll be doing 2 presses, I only press it for about 10 seconds, just enough for the vinyl to adhere to the shirt. I removed the Teflon sheet and I was not happy where that seam is. It didn't look like it fully adhered there, so I decided to grab my Easy Press Mini. I set it to medium and once it was heated up, I heated over that entire bow just to make sure everything was adhered. The Easy Press Mini can really get into those grooves and tough spots, so this worked out perfectly. I removed the carrier sheet and that little spot that I'm kind of pointing to here, I still wasn't totally happy with. I don't want it to pick back up. So I put a Teflon sheet back on top and pressed into it again until it looked like it adhered really well. Then I added my pink layer on top. I used the Easy Press Mini again, and like I said, that just worked out so well. I'm not using a Teflon sheet because that carrier sheet is there and the Easy Press Mini is really only pressing over that carrier sheet. I honestly like to see it because I don't really time it. I would say I probably do about 20 to 30 seconds. I removed the carrier sheet and it's just so cute. I can't wait to see how it all comes together. I flipped the shirt over and I followed the exact same process on the other side. I forgot to mention, I like to start with the top of the bow and work my way down. It just kind of seemed the best way to do it with that seam there. I love how you can see part of the bow on the front and the back. I don't know why I didn't expect that, but it looks so cute. Now I'm ready to add vinyl to the front. I preheat it with my Easy Press Mini, then add my t-shirt alignment tool. When layering HTV, I like to piece together the whole design first. Then I pick up the whole design and find the center. I don't want to press the whole thing because the overlapping carrier sheets will mess it up. I decided to start with the red first. I removed the pink, but I was really careful to make sure the red did not move so that everything stayed lined up. I also double checked and just made sure the pink would piece together in there, and it looks like it will, so I'm ready to press this. I found it easier since I have to piece this together to continue with my Easy Press Mini. If you're just doing all one color, it probably would be easier to use a bigger press. Once again, I'm bad about timing how long I did this. I would say maybe about 20 seconds. Pressing the HTV is done. Now I'm ready to cut in between the bows. I'm going to use the Cricut scissors because it's small and it's very sharp, which is perfect. I run my scissors along the edge of the vinyl. I try to get it as close as I can without cutting the vinyl. I found it just a little bit tricky because I really didn't want much of that sweatshirt to show through, but what helps the most is just take it really slowly. I moved on to the other side and I did speed this up, so I actually was cutting this a lot slower than it looks. Once that was done, I went back in and trimmed a little bit more, just trying to give it a nice clean edge. That is just so adorable. Now that I have that side done, I will move to the other side and trim it the exact same way. One thing I want to point out, you can see the seam lines through the vinyl. That's okay. That's actually good because you know that it adhered well onto the sweatshirt and it's not going to lift up. It does open up right here. For some reason, I didn't expect that, but I think it'll be fine. I decided to do a test wash. I never cut into fabric like this, so I was nervous. I've heard others say that it works totally fine, but I had to test it for myself. I set it on my delicate cycle. Here's the shirt after it's been washed, and I'm happy to say it did not fray or fall apart at all. I think I will let it air dry though. I'm still nervous to dry it. Here's the shirt on my daughter. It is so adorable. The sweatshirt was a little bit oversized on her, so I do recommend making sure it is totally true to size. I just had so much fun making this project. I need to make one for myself now. Maybe something somewhat matching for Valentine's Day would be so cute. I would love to hear what you guys think in the comments down below. Let me know if you've tried this or if you're going to try this or if you have any questions. Also, if you're new to my channel, I would love it if you subscribed.